intention with love and light to inspire divine beauty and clear insight, to love ourselves more with the heart so pure while navigating life so that love endures, to shine our light so graciously, authentically, auspiciously. I set this intention and it shall be. As above, so below, it is so. What's up? What's up? Peace, light, and love. Thank you for connecting with me. It is an auspicious time to be alive. And if you are here listening to me, I'm Shakesha Divine. This is the Pretty Priestess Podcast because I'm excited to get going. I almost forgot to tell you who I was and what this business I'm here is all about. Anyway, I just wanted to stop in this week because we got a lot of shit that's going on out here in these streets. And I know that I'm wrong if I ain't coming through, checking in and talking about this particular energy. So let's get with this and talk about a lot of the developments that's been going on. Apparently there's this tube up under the Giza pyramids and everything, right? Now this right here is some groundbreaking revolutionary information, right? Because what this is really, what the first thing I'm going to say, the first thing that hit me is fairy realm, fairy realm, fairy realm, shut up. This is a tube that's going like 2.5 miles down into the earth, the inner earth and everything. So this is going to be a major discovery. So there's already people, they don't want to jump the gun because they didn't pull all of the scientific particulars and everything in order to validate that this is really happening, whatever. However, that this is a time right now where we will begin learning some things about there's different realms within this planet, right? And so right now, I think this is the very first time that I've really heard like mainstream information pointing to particular unknown realms and everything. Like you hear about that shit on a lot of the conspiracy channels like Coast to Coast, where they talk about over there in Antarctica and everything. And while all of that is very true and everything, we are entering into an age where there's going to be a lot of disclosures that's going on out here. So keep your eyes open, keep your head on a swivel, no doubt about it. And so a lot of things have been going on. We got a lot of astrological influences that's really assisting us, that's really helping us to be able to navigate through this energy that we're experiencing right about now. We got a lot of high vibing Venusian energy that's going on. We got that sun in Aries. And of course, when that sun is in Aries, we're being called to really examine ourselves, how we've been moving out here in these streets. In particular, the Aries is about ourself, but it also holds that energy of being impatient, right? Being competitive and everything, right? That warlike mentality. We want to check in on those particular things, right? So when we looking at it, if we on a lower vibration, we might want to check in about that. This is why we got these retrogrades in Venus and in Aries, right? Cosmic check-ins, so that we can check in on those particular energies and how we've been navigating within our relationships, right? And in our communication, no doubt, right? But this energy is also asking us, right, to examine about us taking the initiative, taking charge, taking authority, because Aries energy is that part too, right? And we look at the aspects of it being that warrior energy and everything. And this is a positive thing because this is really good energy for us to begin initiating new projects and everything, new things, right? And so I've been connecting a lot with the fairy realm, and the fairies, I'm telling y'all, family, have been talking out here in these particular streets. Nature itself has been talking. And so I've been out there in nature. I've been getting a lot of downloads and everything. I'm a nature walking through girl. I need that in my life. This is what heals me. And so that whole forest bathing thing, this is what I live for. I got to do this. This is something that has to be on my agenda routinely, no doubt about it. And so with that, when I'm walking through, I get a lot of downloads. I get a lot of channels that come through when I'm out here in the in nature and everything, connecting with them trees, connecting with them fairy energies and everything. I'm going to tell you about that. The spirit animals, no doubt about it, getting out there in that nature, they start speaking to you and everything. And this right here is just an auspicious tap for us to be able to work with energy in a profoundly proficient way so that we can really, really take our divine expression and really tweak it so that it's going to work for us, right? So we can really get that whole vibe that we tapping into. See, tapping in this divine expression thing that I'm talking about, right? It allows us to tap into the energy, the frequency, and the vibration of our intentions, right? Because what we do is we work in divine alignment with the cosmos, with astrology, with nature, with colors, whatever, what have you, right? And this awakens our creative potential. It is so empowering because everything works for our highest and greatest good. And so it's in our best interest to go ahead and tap into all of these energies that are around us that support us. Now we know that the magic is within us, no doubt about it, right? And we really don't need to do all of that, right? Because we can create a lot of these conditions within, right? But see, this is the thing about us being interconnected with all of the energies that surround us, right? This is a way for us to be a little bit more connective. It heightens your sensitivity, it heightens your intuition, and it helps you to be more creative. Because when we move into this is where that we really tapping into this divine feminine energy, right? Where we're allowing ourselves to be receptive, right? To a lot of the divine assistance, the supports that's out there, that's around us, that will help in empowering us as we move forward out here in these particular streets. And so I'm liking this a whole lot. I'm doing it big time, no doubt about it. And so I want to talk a little bit too, because when I was walking through, I was noticing the trees was definitely coming through with a powerful message. And so as I began looking around, the trees were beginning to show me about how all of the leaves from last cycle, right, in the springtime and the summertime, and you know how those leaves begin to bloom. Well, in this particular area, the trees were showing me how the leaves were still yellow on the trees. Now, I don't know where you're located, but here in Pittsburgh, we had one hell of a winter. It was a winter's winter. Like we ain't had a winter like this in quite some time where we had snow. It was freezing ass cold. It did its thing. Winter did its thing. I'm feeling real good about that, right? Because when winter does its thing, we know that we ain't gonna be well, we still go get them bugs, right? But we just won't be bombarded with the level of bugs, right? So it kind of helps in regulating how the insects show up when the summertime, when the spring and summertime's hit, right? But in this particular season, right, even though we got this winter that really should have blasted away all of the leaves, there was still some leaves that continued to hang on to the trees. Hold up now. And so as I'm walking through, and now we talking about now I'm walking back, and this is just like as we are moving into the springtime, coming out of the wintertime, still yellow leaves on the tree. So what those trees was really showing me with those leaves still there, yellow on the tree, is how we willfully hold on to cycles and old times that's no longer serving us at the end of the day. You see, them trees, they should have left like a long time ago. They were supposed to be gone back there in the fall, right? But they hung in there. And they hung in there during the winter time. And we done had snowstorms and ice storms and all types of deep freezes. Still, those trees hung in there. Those leaves on the trees still hung in there. And so now, as we're moving into this new cycle, we move back in the springtime where the leaves are coming back upon the trees again. Those leaves on those trees are still there, yellow from the fall time, should have been gone. So what the trees are showing us about how we hold on to old things that's no longer serving us. They may have worked for one point in time, but at this particular point in time, they hold no use. And so just like cycles change, right? And everything you can expect that change is our only constant that we have in this world, right? That things will be forced to change. See, life is going to move you right on ahead. If you just stand still, it's just going to move you right ahead either way you like it or not. And so with these leaves, they standing still, they standing in their place, holding that space, Still yet, the new leaves will begin to bloom soon. And those trees that are holding that position right there are still going to be pushed away up off of that tree and have to fall by the wayside at a point in time. Either way, however we go, what have you, they still got to go, because this is the way that the cycles work here. This planet is cycles. Everything happens in cycles. This is what's so fascinating about this particular planet. You can see the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence in everything that we do, in all of the plant lives and everything out there in nature and everything, how things go in cycles. And so these leaves, which I thought was really profound, that they were gold, and that gold is about that solar plexus chakra, right? That will, how we hold on to those things that no longer serve us, even when they pass their due date. But understand that we are about to be faced with some positions where we ain't gonna have no choice but to drop the shit that's no longer serving us. And likewise, like the trees, when these new leaves begin blooming up in these other trees that's still hanging on, those old yellow leaves is gonna be pushed off away and end up falling down by the wayside nevertheless. And so them trees is coming through, letting us know that we hanging on to things that's not serving us. It's time for us to begin releasing these things, because life is going to change us either way we like it or not. This is what the trees is letting us know. So it's definitely a time for us to begin examining ourselves, like that sun in Aries is telling us, right? And really begin to start considering those things that we need to let fall by the wayside. Now we got this eclipse energy that's coming through. And I'm liking this so much. See, this Aries solar eclipse, even though it's a partial solar eclipse, right? We got the sun and the moon and Aries and everything, right? But we got a lot of these other energies that's going on here in Aries, right? And then the very next day, we got Neptune that's going to be moving out of Pisces at 29 degrees into 0 degrees Aries. We talking new cycle, a new 165-year cycle. This is major reset button energy, fam. Major reset button. And so while these trees is talking about these things that we've been holding on to that need to really fall the hell off and everything, life is definitely pushing us forward, putting us in a position where, oh, you go drop that shit. Trust me when I'm telling you. See, we getting into this energy right now where we starting to find that energy. It's really starting to be, it's starting to show up as such to where we can't ignore that shit no more, right? And so spirit has just really been showing me about how we are making these necessary changes and adjustments right about now. It is a profoundly auspicious time right about now. So what is this time about? It's about new beginnings. It comes through reminding us about loving ourselves, embracing ourselves, right? But this eclipse right here, because it's a partial solar eclipse, it's in Aries and everything. See, this is all about us building ourselves up at this particular point in time, right? But this eclipse, because you got to remember, see, the moon gets in front of that sun. So this eclipse is go expose haters that don't mean you well, family, so that they can get the hell up out of your life and not curse your next cycle. See, this is a favor that's being done for you, not to you, but for you. Because who in the hell want a bunch of fucking smiling faces around them that really ain't holding the love in their heart that they present to themselves, right? Who in the hell want to be in a relationship with somebody that ain't really got you as their number one? You know what I'm saying? And so all of these cycles, all of these things, right? Who the hell want to be attached to things that's no longer serving them, like it's sabotaging them at the end of the day, right? So these are all of the energies that we're being challenged to face with, right? Relationships, people, places, things, situations, and everything. These is all them things that need to fall by the wayside, right? So that we can really begin to move forward, empowered, dropping this baggage that's holding us down, that's sabotaging us, that's stopping us from moving forward, dropping the connections, right? That's not really for our highest and greatest good. So you can get the hell out of the way and you can fill that space with connections that are authentic and more in alignment with who you are. This is what I'm talking about, baby. This is what we finna step into at this particular point in time. And so I'm liking this a lot. And these fairies, man, that energy, man, it has been coming through in a most powerful and auspicious way. Now, I know we've been seeing a lot of the shit that's going on the news and everything, right? We can't be focusing and allowing that type of shit to rent space in our head, because I promise you and I assure you, hold up, I lost my little note thing. I want to talk about these dreams that's going on out here in these particular streets too, because while we still got Neptune, that's in Pisces, right, at 29 degrees, we talking about having these dreams that's really going to help us in moving forward out here in these particular streets. Now, when we get this Neptune in there, they ain't gonna say that your dreams ain't gonna stop being off the hook, because we still got a lot of Piscean energy. We got that North Node that's going on in Pisces and everything, right? Saturn's still hanging there for a little bit and everything. So we still dealing in that particular vibration of that Piscean energy, no doubt, right? But this is a particular time right now for us to really make sure, if you ain't got a dream journal, I would really encourage you to make sure that you keeping some type of dream journal notepad beside your bed, because these dreams is going to help you in this thing we call ascension, baby. It's going to help us to really begin getting the truth within ourselves. You ain't got to share that shit with nobody, right? This is about you healing yourself, right? So that we ain't out here triggered out here in these streets every time some truth gets, every time we get confronted with the truth. Now we sitting around feeling some type of way because we can't handle the truths that's presented in front of us. What spirit is really calling us to do, right? This is why we got dropped that damn bullshit and baggage, right? Because this is what's really going to allow us to be able to walk through awake and aware. And so I got some spirit animals and some other auspicious taps that's really going to help us in navigating those particular energies, and no doubt about it. I was thinking about that song Mulholland Drive by October London. I think this is really a powerful song to allow to minister to us, because when he starts that song off, he says, I'm on top of the world, baby. Uh. Please don't blow me down. Or did he say, please don't hold me down? Hold up. Hold up. Here we go. While the world's going crazy, oh, I'm keeping my head down. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. See, when we really have been doing the work, when we really about the business of this life, we talking about, see, dealing with occult science, we thinking we doing something spooky. We doing something, you know what I'm saying? We doing something that's going to tap us into a frequency of the hell realm or some foolishness like that, right? It's going to bring us into some dark energy or something like that. And then we go find ourselves, you know, in a space we don't want to be in. But this is not what that's about. See, the occult is those things that's hidden, those things that's hidden within. And this is about a journey of the self, right? And when we get into this space where we can really allow ourselves to deal with the truth within ourselves, see, this is when we start showing up in a way that's healed, where we showing up grounded, when we are unmoved, untethered by a lot of the madness that goes on. We can stand in the eye of the storm, watch all of the shit go down around us, right? And we still hold in space, being grounded in everything, staying on top of the world, not letting it mess with our vibe. While this world is going crazy, we keeping our head down, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And so shout out to that dude right there who put that groove together, because you know, he sound a shitload like Marvin Gaye. Holy shit. You know, that's a channel. In my humble opinion, that's a channel. I think that whole record is a channel. You know what I'm saying? Where he allowed Marvin Gaye to work through him, no doubt. But anyway, let me talk about these dreams. So dreams, you know, I like dealing with these clothes, right? Because this is one of the ways that I really allow myself to tap into some higher vibration, divine expressions, no doubt. This is how I really connect to the energy, the frequency, the vibration of whatever my intentions are and everything. I can really get myself in alignment. So I like that shit a whole lot. But let me tell you something. If you've been dreaming about clothes, articles of clothing are often associated with our inner emotions. We use clothes to express ourselves, to make a statement about how we want people to perceive us. So dreaming that you're wearing some shabby or some old clothing may indicate that you're feeling undesirable or worn out, while dreaming about wearing new clothes may mean that you are feeling refreshed and attractive. So pay attention about anything that stands out about clothes in your dreams and consider how it might relate to what's going on in your life at the moment. Mm, this is that work we talking. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. For instance, right? If you dream about wearing a shirt or an outfit that's too tight, it might be a sign that you feeling constricted, right? With some aspect of your day-to-day life, right? Because that tightness, you know what I'm saying, that constriction energy and everything. So I just thought right there, I said, yeah, see these clothes right here, they also be talking, right? They come through. It's our divine expression, right? It really speaks to how we're feeling about ourselves. This is an auspicious tap into some emotional intelligence, right? And emotional intelligence ain't just about knowing how somebody else is feeling so that you can run alongside and support them. That's a positive and auspicious, beneficial thing, no doubt about it, right? But what's most important, first and foremost, we in Aries season, the self, baby, examining the self. We need to recognize what's real. See, if we ain't really in tune with what's going on with us, a lot of us profoundly are not, if we are not in tune with how we're really feeling, where we're really at. See, this is why so many people find themselves getting triggered and everything, because they don't imagine something that they would really like to be, aspire to be, have not gotten there yet. And then when they get confronted with the truth of not being there, then it's a big problem. See, but when we doing that inner work and everything, what we start doing is moving into a direction where we get ourselves in alignment with that. No doubt, no doubt. So I want to talk about this auspicious tap with these clothes because you know I had to definitely do it. Green is a color I really like working with. Let me bring this up. This is my fairy skirt. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So right here, I was talking about them, that whole boot thing and everything. I really like rocking with them boots and everything. But this fairy skirt right here is really an auspicious tap, especially when I'm getting out there rocking around in them woods and everything. Now, believe it or not, I'm gonna tell you something. Now I know, you know what I'm saying? But one of the best things to go out walking in the trails in the woods with is a pair of boots and a skirt. Because I don't know if y'all know, there's snakes out that piece. No, but yeah, absolutely there is. And so sometimes, I done spotted a snake or two out there and everything. So now I feel like I'm sufficiently covered and everything. And then I'm also very comfortable with the skirt on because it allows that air to flow and everything. And I'm just one of them people that like that flow, that comfort and all of that and everything that goes with that and everything. So this is definitely an auspicious tap into tapping into that fairy realm, no doubt about it, right? Oh, and then let me hold up, because I wanted to talk about this color right here too. Let me bring that back. Let me bring you back. This color right here is called evergreen. And this color right here, I got my color astrology book and everything. And I really like tapping in with this particular color green because, see, this is a deep rooted green. But this color, it reminds you that being in nature is vital to your well-being. Meditating or surrounding yourself with this color is called evergreen. It helps align you with healthy energy and prosperity and auspicious type, no doubt about it. So you definitely want to rock with that. This is Pantone color 195420. Get you something in that particular color. I'm telling you, it's elevation, no doubt about it. I got a couple of articles with that particular color, and I'm telling you, I'm always in this space of elevation, right? It almost taps me into the same frequency of when I'm wearing the emerald stones as well, right? Because that deep green energy and everything, right? It gives that heart space energy, no doubt about it, right? But it brings that grounded, earthy vibration to it that really helps you to tap in an auspicious way. Not only that, this really also assists really well with helping to connect with those animal energies when you're out there and everything. So I'm liking this a whole hell of a lot, man. It will absolutely. And yes, a good belt will save your outfit. I preach the gospel of that, no doubt about it. Get you a good belt and everything, especially if you one of them chicks like me. They got a little pooch of a belt belly and whatnot. We still cute. We still cute, but that belt just helped to bring the cuteness all the way out. It just helps to just accentuate the cuteness. No doubt. Let's get it. No doubt. No doubt. And so definitely clothes is an auspicious tap for your emotional wellness, your well-being and everything, right? It allows us to really tap in to whatever intention it is that we're trying to connect to and everything. And it also helps us with our divine expression, no doubt. No doubt about it. Also, the other thing, before I come up out of here, I want to talk about these spirit animals that's been coming through. They have been coming through in a most auspicious way. And one of the spirit animals, we got to talk about that spirit animal because I don't think we recognize that this is an auspicious spirit animal to work with. Now, there's a difference between the three. There's a spirit animal, there's the animal totem, right? And then there's the power animal, right? And they're all three different types of energies to work with when you're working with the animal oracle systems, right? The spirit animal, they bring you that healing vibe or message, right? It's something that you need right on time and everything. Typically, this is what you can tap into when you out there doing that nature walk, right? That animal totem is that animal that's always there for you, right? Part of that spiritual support system. You can count on it. You know that this is a part of your team that's going to help you out. How do you know that? Because this is an animal that you typically run into, think about, consider all of the time and everything. They probably on your team. If you notice that this is an animal, you find yourself drawn to a lot of statues, figurines, pictures, whatnot. Probably animal totem area right there, no doubt. And then the power animal. This is where you get into that auspicious tap, right? Because you can call on it, you can invoke it, you can dance, doing the sounds, having sex in the same way that for this where they get that doggy style shit from. Stop that. You know what I'm saying? Doing all of that, the walking, dressing, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Helps you to tap into any of those intentions with that and everything. The power animals is a most auspicious thing to work with because it will definitely help you get through. But now the owl, when the owl shows up, this is all about making sure you recognizing that you seeing things clearly, right? So we got these Venus and these Mercury retrogrades that's really showing us about how folks can get down out here in these particular streets. I assure you, this clarity is definitely your friend at the end of the day. Now, it don't necessarily feel like it because you run into some shit. It's like almost what they say in the tarot system, a tower moment, like the rug's been snatched up from up under you. Surprise, surprise. What the hell? What the hell? However, I need you to recognize what's real. This right here is an auspicious way for you. And I know, like I said, well, let's not say auspicious way, right? It ends up at the end of the day, like we will say, hindsight, it's auspicious, right? But it ends up being a way for us to really begin to hit that reset button, this recalibration and everything. And while we going on this new cycle and everything, it's going to be in our best interest to work with this particular owl because this owl is going to help us to see things with clarity. It's going to help us to tap into higher levels of awareness, right? So that we ain't married to the way that we wish that it would go down, what we would prefer to see. Now, even though it's good to do that in that manifestation thing, sometimes it's really in our best interest to recognize that it is what it is. Because if not, you mess around and slow your manifestation down because you're not getting in alignment with those things that's truly in alignment for where it is the direction that you're going in, right? You're looking for the vibrational match, right? Okay, we gonna make sure we on the same page with that. You don't want nobody pretending, right? Well, okay, let's get it clear. So this awareness is going to be absolutely beneficial. And then what that owl does, it also helps us with this level of wisdom, right? Wisdom is what we do when we take what we know and we utilize that to be beneficial within our lives, right? So we are aware how folks get down. Now, we ain't sitting around all triggered when we discover that this ain't the way that we thought it was and everything. We understand that that's what it is and we navigate accordingly. This is what wisdom does for you, right? It helps you to be able to open your eyes with clarity, with awareness and everything, right? And so this owl is coming through, reminding us about how important it is for us to operate with wisdom, seeing things clearly, not as we would like them to be, but how they absolutely are. And so the owl comes through, letting us know that when the owl shows up, he's letting us know that we need to pay attention to the signs, the omens, and everything, right? Especially if you're in the dark about something. Now, if you call on this owl, told him to work with you, you go start seeing some signs and symbols out here and everything. And this is really going to help you to get that clarity that you need. The owl's going to help you in doing that. The owl, if you got a totem of this owl. See, this owl, see, people that got those owl totems and everything, they usually see the devil that's in them details, no doubt. And see, and so those folks that got owl totems in their team always see things that other folks ain't seeing. So yeah, you might have that on here. You know, owl is definitely one of my totem. I got me a little golden owl pin on my trench coat and everything. You know what I'm saying? That owl is dear, all about that business and everything. Highly intuitive, very, very intuitive. Those folks that deal with that owl energy on a regular and consistent basis, those is typically your highly intuitives. Those that are have the spiritual gifts like clairvoyance and everything, can tell you about what happened in a dream and everything, right? And a lot of times, you know, they know about shit that's happening before you do and everything, right? They got that prophecy thing going on and everything, because that owl is definitely coming through to help us in increasing in our awareness and everything. And that's that tap into the spirit, into that fairy realm, no doubt about it and everything, right? And so these owls are coming through. Owls are coming through. You know what I'm saying? Reminding us about how important it is for us to see things with clarity and everything, especially as we close out these particular cycles. Remember that we're in a 9 year, and the 9 year, you can pretty much count on endings. You can count on closures, right? This is about us making sure that we have been navigating out here with some awareness so that we can move with proficiency in the next cycle. 9 years will help us in doing that. Then we in the year of the snake. And don't that owl come for them snakes, right? Anyway, let's deal with that on another level. But that snake energy is definitely about transformation. And so this owl is coming through, reminding us about how important it is for us to begin paying attention to the signs and the symbols, especially when you ain't really got that clarity and everything. If you call on that owl totem, go help you out along your journey and everything. And this right here, fam, I got to tell you something. This right here is what will really give you an auspicious tap into this fairy realm and everything, right? Just tapping into these animal spirit guys, getting out in nature and everything, and setting some clear intentions. And you watch how these fairies will begin working with you in the most auspicious way, right? You're going to get you some earth fairies. They work along with the elements. This is my experience of them, right? And so you'll tap into those energies that work with the water, the earth, the air, right? And who else? Oh, the fire, no doubt. The fire, no doubt. Them salamanders, what? But you know, but listen, like I said, I'm not gonna tell anybody you got to be this particular person in order for that. What I will encourage you to do is get you, hold up, can I? There we go. Background messing it up. Get you a fairy Bible. Get you a book that gives you comprehensive information on the fairies, the fairy kingdom. Now that we in this age of information, we ain't got no excuses on why we don't know stuff, right? We got a whole lot of information that's out here and everything that's really going to allow us to be able to utilize a lot of these nature spirits, a lot of these energies that can really assist us in our journey. Working with fairy energy is really what got me to begin tapping into the magic of beauty and bringing that, incorporating that into my life. And so this right here is some auspicious energy to work with anytime you're dealing with anything Venusian on that particular vibration. These fairies is really going to help you to tap in a most auspicious way. They're going to help to enhance your crystal game. They're going to help in enhancing all of anything that you're doing. Oh shit, I almost forgot about How Aries season, not only does it deal with the self, the head and everything, but it also deals with that face and everything. And being that we are in this Venus retrograde and everything, you really want to be careful about implementing any new beauty regimens at this particular time when Venus is in retrograde, because many times, the word on the street is it may not turn out the way that you think. So one of the things that you may want to do that has been extremely helpful for me right about now, I ain't really got no old stuff because a lot of stuff I've been using is tried and true and whatnot. So you know what I'm saying? But if somebody pulled my coat to something and everything, then I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out. But that's after that retrograde, no doubt, because we talking about the face. We ain't gonna be playing no games with that, right? But one thing that you can be sure of, a sure shotter, a true hitter, no quitter, is regular baking soda facials. And what I do is I take it up out of the Arm& Hammer, bought the box with the dude with the fist and all of that in there. We take it, we pull it up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Now listen, ain't nothing wrong with how you do it. How you do it is you. But this is what I do because see, I know about the power of intention, right? And so when I move it into it, ain't gotta be nothing fancy. I mean, if you do, that's a whole nother tap, right? But I separate the stuff that I'm going to utilize for my face and put it into another container. Because what I'll do is I will charge it with a crystal, if I can pull that crystal up out of there. Ooh, and I'll charge it with a crystal. Get you something like a quartz, you know what I'm saying? Rose quartz, clear quartz, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Get you a little something like that and allow it to charge that up and everything, right? Because see, then when you do that, you'll wash your face off and you will make a small little paste with that, right? This baking soda is one of the best facials ever, ever, ever. So all you do is just use that water, baking soda, make a little paste. You'll use it on your face like an exfoliator. This is going to clear your skin up. It's going to refresh your face and all of that stank energy because, like I said, we got this Venus retrograde going on, this Mercury retrograde and everything. So there's going to be a lot of sucker haters out there that's going to give you the stank face and everything, right? Making you feel some type of way at the end of the day, right? But this baking soda, it help get rid of stank face energy, no doubt. And so what you do is you go take that and you go rub it all over your face and everything. You go set that intention right and everything, beautify your shit, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Tell yourself about how you connected to the star player. Remind yourself of how gangster you are out here in these particular streets. And then you're going to take some cold water and you're going to rinse that right on off of your face and you're going to watch your skin glow. You're going to watch your skin sing a whole new song. I promise you that. Because now you have just exfoliated, you have refreshed yourself, you have done an auspicious tap. And this right here is going to elevate your look. It's going to help you to move about these streets with a little bit more confidence, I assure you. Now, when you got a healthy face regimen, right? And then let me tell you something, it don't cost nothing. I think a box of baking soda is $1, right? So you get you one of them and you put you in this, and I think this is right here, what, a 4-ounce container right here that I put it in. I set that specially aside just for my facial, you know what I'm saying? For my facial, I was gonna say conditioning. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Okay, I like it. Conditioning. We go use that for my facial conditioning and whatnot and everything. And so I'll utilize this as my weekly scrub that I use on my face personally, right? And so this right here is going to help you. It's Venus retrograde proof. It's tried and true. It's hypoallergenic. You ain't got to worry about the baggage that's connected to a lot of the other stuff you may not be sure about. This right here is going to get you through. You can count on it. It's very reliable, no doubt about it. And so, yeah, you definitely want to get in with that. And that's tapping you right into the earth energy, the Venusian vibration. No doubt about it. So you definitely want to get a hit on that particular thing right here. I was going to talk a little bit about the message that the fairies have and everything, but I'm sitting up here, boop, 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 back, forth, back, forth. We go talk about it. All right. So the fairies is talking about the same thing that the trees have been saying. But then again, yeah, it's kind of all connected, reminding us about saying goodbye to the old and hello to the new. The fairies is coming through letting you know that you just finished one part of your life and now a new, even better one is beginning right now. So what they're asking us to do is begin letting that shit go. Letting go all of the stuff that's no longer serving you, because just like them trees was talking, right? All of them things that used to serve us at one particular time or the other, it's probably not going to be working no more. And this is the reason why we struggle so hard in releasing those things that don't serve us. The fairy kingdom is coming through, reminding us about how important it is for us to evolve out here in these particular streets. And so they're urging that we let go, because we want to make sure that the seeds that we plant, right, will give us that abundant harvest. But if we're holding on to things that's not really serving us at the end of the day, we kind of sabotage those seeds so that they can't come up when they're supposed to in the springtime. Energy is coming through at this point in time, reminding us about how seasons change, people change, feelings change, right? And so, just like it's time for all of the other seasons to change and move on, yet we need to take note from that and make sure that we tapping into that auspicious energy of changing and moving on, no doubt about it. Because this is a time for us to be building those skills, right? Those things that we want to do, whatever it is, what dream, what have you, right? All during that divine feminine season, right? We've been getting our work in, right? Getting our study in, right? Taking in that information, because we ain't had too much to do but sit in the house and take all of this stuff in and everything. It was a thing about practice and everything. But Spirit is letting you know, like, this ain't your time to just kick back and everything. This is a time for you to continue on that work and on that grind and everything. And so when these fairies is coming through, reminding you about how important it is for you to practice, practice, practice. This is about making sure that you're getting yourself into a daily routine. See, your routines is going to save your life at the end of the day, I assure you. Because the other thing that they have also been getting at us on is making sure that we are dropping a lot of these habits that's not serving us with the things that we've been taking in. This is about making sure that we're getting our body in the physical condition. I know I've been dragging myself to that damn gym, right? And been really making some higher vibrational choices with the things that we put into our bodies, no doubt. And so these fairies is coming in reminding us, because that's a practice within itself, right? Making sure that we're consistently getting that meditation in so that we have the clarity to be able to navigate all of the vicissitudes that come before us at this particular point in time. Everybody ain't doing the work. Everybody don't see things the way that you do. And so that owl's coming through, reminding us about seeing clearly out here in these particular streets so that we ain't sitting around caught up in all of the drama and the foolishness that's going on around us, because we the ones that's doing the work. We got to operate a little bit more evolved out here in these particular streets. And so that owl's coming through, reminding us about that clarity that we got, because we done gained the wisdom that we need to shine our light on in this world, right? So now that we got Neptune and Aries at 0 degrees, this is about us moving forward on the 30th, right? Right after that solar eclipse, when you got to recognize all of the things that need to go and fall by the wayside, we eclipse that particular energy, link up with that Venusian vibration, and move over into that Aries energy. No doubt, a new 165-year cycle. Who you finna be out here in these particular streets? And so if you had any dreams about these clothes and whatnot, again, from my dream deck that I got going on right here, is really telling us about that auspicious tap in that we can connect to. Do the things that we wear. It's our divine expression out here in these particular streets. Don't ever neglect that. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever overlook that. Don't let nobody talk you up out of your position because they done followed some teaching that tell them you're supposed to shrink yourself in order for you to be your greatest self. It's not true. The devil is a liar. I'm here to let you know that, no doubt about that. So anyway, I'm going to get up out of here because I think I done put a lot of work out here in these streets. No, yeah. Okay, but definitely work with them fairies. They go really help you to really tighten your game up in a way that's going to be beneficial. Work with that song Mulholland Drive. Remember, we got to stay on top of the world while this world is going crazy. We keep our head down, baby. We keeping our head down. No doubt about it. I would play it, but you know it's a problem. So anyway, I want to send out so much love, so much light. Ooh, giving thanks to the divine plan of love that's unfolding. Show some love out here in these streets. Peace and light. Peace and love.